Yes, thanks for staying with us on the Sports Show. One of the great events at the Olympics, Poppy, or anywhere, I guess, is the equestrian. Any time you bring a big beast and you have to try and control it, that is a tough assignment.
Yeah, you've got your work cut out, haven't you?
You have our next two guests, of course, Clive and Connor Reid, are experts. Well, Clive perhaps the expert, Connor on the way up. Thanks for coming in, fellas.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Connor, let me start with you, mate. About 5 years old, you started riding and obviously played footy. All the kids play footy at school. What age did you get to when you thought, I prefer riding over footy?
Well, I started really riding at 12. I wasn't really into it at 5, but I really made the decision last year, and I haven't decided to play football this year. So it's only a recent decision that I've decided to do that. So
it's amazing, isn't it? I reckon, Clive, every young kid who's serious about a particular sport, we see so many kids who are a jack of all trades and a master of none, but to be competitive at the elite level, you have to concentrate and you have to do it early.
Yes, it's very much the case. When I was younger, I played football and I was told by my footy coach, you either have to take this seriously or do that, you know, and I made the choice the same. But it is an elite, at the top level, you've really got to put in the time and effort.
Well, Clive, you've been representing Australia, mate. You've been at the World Cups. You've done it all over a nearly 40-year journey for you. If I said to you right now, does Connor have what it takes to get to the Olympic Games, or what's your feeling?
Well, I'm sure...
Without being the biased father?
I'm sure that's Connor's aim.
Yep.
And he's got the dedication and puts in the time and effort that will see him get there. And at the moment in competition, he's doing very well, you know, but it's a long way from where he is to get to the Olympic Games.
Well, let me tell you a bit of a story about this bloke beside us, who's a 4-time Olympian, unbelievable athlete, 5 world championships. The fact is this, that on Christmas Day he knew that no one else would be training, so he'd train. When everyone stopped training, he'd shoot 100 free throws because he wanted to do that bit extra. So I guess my story is, and Smythe, you'd reinforce this, is it's those little 1%ers that over the journey of a career make the difference sometimes between making it and not making it, being good and being great and being unbelievably, being a champion. Yeah. I mean, you take us through your journey. It's very relevant, I think, to any aspiring sportsman.
No, it'd be great to sit here and talk about myself, but I don't really
want
to.
Why not, Joe? People are interested in it, Smythe.
No, look, it is. It's doing a little extra. What it does, it gives you the mental edge as well as the skill and physical edge. But I reckon, Connor, you help me out a little bit. Yours is a bit different because mine's determined by what I do. Yep. Yours is determined a little bit by the horse that's underneath you. Yeah. So you could be unbelievably good on the day at what you're doing, and the horse just doesn't want to come to the party. Is that unfair?
No, there's a lot of... The equestrian is, you know, you can have fantastic riders and fantastic horses, but for them, you can't really dominate the sport at the top level because your horse and you have to be 100% on the day, and there's always going to be one, but there's not always that every day with everybody. All
right, you've got a couple of horses right now that you're working.
Yes.
Is one a little bit better for you than the other? Have you got a favourite of the two? Because they're different personalities, aren't they? Is there one that you think, if you had to compete tomorrow and the Olympics were decided on that, which one would you go with?
I'd probably go with my mare, Classic Dorian.
Yep.
She's just a bit bigger, stronger, scopier horse. But saying that, I really love my other horse. He's an old thoroughbred, and I've had him for a while now, and he's just a super horse. So.
Clive, often when father-son coaching goes on, and you're spending coaching with Connor, I know you've got some other coaches. I mean, I've got 3 daughters, they don't listen to me at all. There's nothing to do with anything. It's probably a good decision by them all, but in saying that, we see across the journey through sport, sometimes the father-son coaching thing doesn't work, but watching you two guys and listening to you before you came in, it seems like you've got a pretty good relationship. So what's the key?
Oh, look, I think, you know, we both love the sport. There was a time there where I felt it was important for Connor to have another voice from outside of mine, and Leanne's a rider that I competed against a lot when we were really at it. Her daughter's been quite successful, so I chose her to jump in there and do some work with Connor as well. But now he's getting to that stage in life. I heard you talking about people in football at 15, you know. Connor's coming to that stage now at 15, and he's quite good at working things out and asking questions, wanting to know what it is that's going to take him to the next level. So, you know, I think that age part of it and the fact that he's really dedicated is helping him.
Yeah, Smythe highlighted it and kind of reinforced it, I guess, is that yes, you've got great riders, but the horse is the athlete. And I think, you know, even off here we made the point that it's one of those few sports where men and women compete on an even playing field, so to speak.
Correct.
Does that give any other challenges outside of a normal sport, or it's just a competitor, you don't care?
I think it's just a competitor, you don't care.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, the ladies used to have to wear weights to bring them up to 11.
Yes.
I think it was 11 stone 11.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't happen. So the ladies have an advantage now in that they're often lighter than the men.
Okay.
But the men have an advantage that they're a bit stronger to cater for the bigger, stronger horses.
Yes.
So you see, you know, at the top level, it's about 50-50, you know, men and women. At the lower level, it's probably 90-10, you know.
Yeah.
At the entry level into the sport, there's probably a lot more women.
So. Kind of, we're great mimickers as kids. I remember back when I'm playing, I'm sure we're the same probably, and you know, we find people and we copy parts of the way they play.
Yeah.
And now, of course, you can get it on the TV, you can watch the DVDs, you can... Do you spend much... Is there someone that you mimic, that you watch and you go, I'll take a bit of what they're doing and I'll take a bit of what they're doing? Is there a couple of people that you want to be like?
Yeah, I was really lucky when before I was really into horses. My family were really lucky to get an opportunity to go to a big competition in Canada, and there was a boy there called Ben Aslan, and he was 16, and I thought he was just the coolest person ever. And I've followed him through my journey since about that age, and he's been a huge focus of mine to be like him, I guess.
Good.
Mate, 2016 you get selected in the South Australian Elite Junior Young Riders squad. What does that involve?
That's a squad involving people under the age of 21 and 18. If you're a junior, under 18s, and if you're a young rider under 21, and it's quite difficult to make that. You have to be competing at a higher level. So,
you know, and I guess another thing that's just come to mind when you're talking about being involved at 2016, you're probably aiming for 2020, maybe 2024. The horses you ride today might not be the horses that you're involved with. How much time do you need to spend with a horse before you can confidently ride it at world class level?
Well, look, I think, you know, when you've got the skills as a rider,
yes,
you know, probably 12 months with a horse is enough to get you there.
That's okay then.
The horse can't compete. Well, certainly there's a rule they can't compete at the Olympics until they're 9 years old.
Okay.
So that's the early entry.
So that comes in all of your planning as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So and you only get one shot at that every 4 years.
Yeah.
You know. So if you don't take your best shot at it, you have to wait a fair while for it to come around again.
All right, so. Clive, Connor, we appreciate you coming in. We'll follow your journey with interest now. Clive will still follow you, of course, but your Olympic chance is not so good, mate. But stay with us. Still plenty to come on the show.